Now, as the U.S. housing market is showing more signs of recovery, the number of homeowners who owe more than their properties are worth is starting to fall. According to CoreLogic, 1.7 million U.S. homeowners went from negative to positive equity in their home during the fourth quarter of last year. It's not all good news for the sector, though. Sentiment among U.S. home builders dropped for the third straight month in March, and investors will get another check on the industry with U.S. housing starts due ahead of the opening bell today. Joining us now from Florida to help us gauge trends, Shari Olefson, author of Foreclosure Nation. Shari, it's great to see you this morning. There are signs here of recovery. What did you make of that CoreLogic data showing that more homeowners now are, because of the rebound in prices, back above water?
Wonderful news, wonderful news. First of all, it means more money available for spending for these homeowners, but also it's just a matter of confidence, and we really still need to see that in housing. Certainly we're on an upward trend, and we've got the new home construction numbers coming out this morning, but we're looking in terms of new home construction, for example, we're looking at a high of 2 million homes back at the peak of the bubble, and now we're only at, at the bottom we were around 500,000 or 600,000. Now we're only in the 900,000 range, so there's still a ways to go.
There is, and that's why I guess the important question now is this as good as it gets? When we start to see so much optimism priced into the market. You're in Florida, where whether Fort Lauderdale or nearby Miami, there actually has been talk about boom times again. And then we get news yesterday, home builder sentiments starting to weaken a little bit. Is this potentially here a time to reassess just how strong the market is?
Well, look, home builders generally are going to look at inventory and pricing. And right now they're in a great environment because on top of that, those numbers look great. Inventory is low, prices are going up. Interest rates are also low, which translates to home buyer ability to buy more homes. And we know that new homes are more expensive. But, the big headwinds that we're facing right now are actually artificial headwinds. They don't have to do with the real estate market. And those are uncertainty in terms of what the government is going to decide on the rules for qualified residential mortgages under Dodd-Frank, which translates to how readily available mortgage loans will be for average homeowners in the next year or so. And of course, the tax issues with the fiscal cliff, and is Congress going to be looking at the mortgage interest deduction and other incentives that have traditionally supported home ownership and could be a deal breaker for a lot of buyers thinking about getting into the market or moving up.
Shari, in a word, what has helped most in the U.S. recovery? Is it some of these targeted policies by the government? Is it just generally that the central bank has been so aggressive? Talking about the way foreclosures have been handled too, which method has yielded the most successful result?
Well, I'll tell you, what has helped most is the fact that people need a house to live in. And so we're not talking about widgets. There is just always going to be a natural demand. Part of the problem and the reason this has dragged out so long is because of the foreclosure issue. And one of the things we're seeing now, particularly in Florida, is, of course, foreclosures are down 25% for the whole country since last year. But in 32 states now, foreclosures are actually up month over month. And so we're going to see a resurgence of that and little centers of foreclosures flaring up in different regions, which is going to impact housing. And unfortunately, new construction too, which we know adds about 3 jobs per home for a year and about $90,000 in tax revenue. So that has a huge impact on the broader economy.
Well, and all the more reason why those numbers today are going to be important. We'll keep an eye out for them. Shari Olefson joining us again, author of Foreclosure Nation from Fort Lauderdale. Appreciate her time this morning. Here's a look at what U.S. futures are doing as we continue.